Welcome to this explainer. Okay, let's just dive right in. Today we're unpacking the absolutely fascinating mechanics of breaking bad routines and, more importantly, building a truly foolproof system for self-improvement. And this is all based on James Clear's incredible book Atomic Habits. Because here's the secret. If you want to change your life, you actually don't need to make these massive, sweeping changes. You really just need to understand the fundamental building blocks of human behavior.
Let's start with that completely universal feeling. You know the exact one. It's New Year's, you're imagining a brand new you, and you tell yourself, okay, this time it's going to be different. I'm finally breaking free from my bad habits, only to end up exactly where you started a few weeks later. Not a single step closer to that person you envisioned. We have literally all been there. But consider this mind-bending math that actually solves the problem. See, we constantly trick ourselves into believing that massive success requires massive action. But if you get just 1% better every single day for 1 year, that progress compounds. You don't just get a little better, you become nearly 38 times better at whatever you're doing. Conversely, though, if you get 1% worse every day, you decline almost all the way down to zero. Your daily habits are compounding. They're either working for you or against you.
So to achieve that massive 37x improvement, here's our roadmap for today. We'll cover the 1% rule, systems over goals, the habit loop, the 4 laws, breaking bad habits, and finally, building your system.
Okay, let's kick things off with Section 1, the 1% rule, the math of compounding. Imagine you're on a plane taking off from New York and you're heading to Los Angeles. Now, if the pilot shifts the plane's nose just 3 degrees before takeoff, which is literally a mere 80 inches, the plane is not going to land in LA, it'll actually land in Tijuana, Mexico. You wouldn't even notice that tiny shift while you're on the runway, right? But years down the line, tiny, seemingly unnoticeable changes in your daily habits will completely change the entire destination of your life.
Moving right along to Section 2, Systems over Goals, the Paradigm Shift.
So to cross what's known as the valley of disappointment, that really frustrating early phase where your hard work just doesn't show immediate results, we need a completely new way to view success. We're constantly told to set goals, right? But there's a glaring flaw with that. Both winners and losers share the exact same goals. Every single Olympian wants the gold medal. Every candidate wants the job. So the goal itself can't possibly be what differentiates the winners from the losers. It's your daily systems, the actual processes that lead to the results that dictate your success.
To build a truly unbreakable system, you've got to understand 3 layers of behavior change. Most people get stuck on the outer layer, the outcomes. They say, hey, I want to run a marathon. But the deepest, most powerful layer is identity, what you fundamentally believe about yourself. So, don't just try to run a marathon, become a runner. Once a habit becomes part of your actual identity, you're no longer forcing yourself to do it. You're just acting like the person you already believe you are.
Let's unpack the science in Section 3. The habit loop, neurological feedback. Every single habit you have is formed by a continuous 4-step feedback loop. Cue, craving, response, and reward. Think about when you're at work and your mind just suddenly goes blank. That feeling? That's the cue. The craving is your desire to alleviate that frustration and just get a quick distraction. The response is you instinctively pulling out your phone to check social media. And the reward is that temporary hit of relief. Over time, your brain literally wires the cue of your mind going blank directly to the reward of checking your phone, which creates this automatic time-wasting loop.
So, how do we fix it? Section 4. The 4 laws, hacking the brain.
Think of this as our master cheat sheet. To hack that neurological loop, we use the 4 laws of behavior change. To trigger a good habit cue, you make it obvious. To ignite the craving, you make it attractive. To ensure the response actually happens, you make it easy. And to lock in that reward so you actually do it again, you make it satisfying.
Let's start with Law 1. Make it obvious. Look, motivation is highly overrated. In reality, environment is the invisible hand that shapes human behavior. You have to rely on visual cues rather than sheer willpower. Want to drink more water? Just leave water bottles all over your house. You also need to adopt a strict one-space, one-use mentality. Stop trying to do productive work on your living room couch if your brain already associates that exact spot with Netflix and pizza.
Moving to Law 2. Make it attractive. You can pull this off through a clever technique called habit stacking and temptation bundling. You basically tie a hard, new habit to the dopamine spike of something you already love doing. Let's look at a morning routine. Waking up is automatic. Making coffee? That's your existing trigger cue. It gives you a dopamine spike, just anticipating it. So by placing a book right next to your coffee maker, you bundle the dopamine craving of the coffee with your brand new habit of reading.
Now for Law 3. Make it easy. Before you ever attempt a grueling 60-minute workout, you absolutely must utilize the 2-minute rule. Scale your desired outcome down to just 2 minutes. Your initial goal isn't to work out at all, it's literally just to put on your gym shoes and stretch for 2 minutes. This anchors the routine. It overcomes that massive friction of just getting started. Once you're stretched and ready, you'll naturally want to do more, but you have to master simply showing up first.
But what about the bad stuff? Section 5. Breaking bad habits. The inverse rules. To break a bad habit, you basically just flip the script and invert the laws. You cut it off at the source by making it invisible, like physically unplugging the TV or leaving your phone in another room. You make it unattractive by totally reframing it in your mind. You make it difficult by adding extreme friction. And you make it unsatisfying by attaching an immediate painful consequence if you fail. Let's pull it all together in Section 6, Building Your System, Real-World Application. HIM is a concrete, real-world system for building a morning workout habit. To make it obvious, pull those dumbbells out of the closet, put them right in the middle of the living room, and lay out your gym clothes the night before. To make it attractive, only let yourself listen to your absolute favorite podcast while you're working out. To make it easy, commit strictly to the 2-minute rule. Just stretch, nothing more. And to make it satisfying, take a quick photo of your calorie burn, text it to your partner, and visibly cross that day off your calendar.
And crossing it off the calendar is absolutely crucial. It utilizes a visual habit tracker to make it satisfying. Always remember this: lost days hurt you way more than successful days help you. You have to protect the chain of continuity. The golden rule: never miss twice. Even on a terrible, totally exhausting day, do 10 sit-ups instead of 0, because showing up on a bad day is the ultimate secret to locking in your new identity.
Conversely, you can totally destroy a bad habit, say a social media addiction, using the exact inverse blueprint. Make it invisible by actually putting your phone in a drawer in a completely different room. Make it unattractive by actively reprogramming your mind to view endless scrolling as lazy consumer behavior instead of producer behavior. And make it deeply unsatisfying by creating a habit contract. Tell your partner that if they catch you on social media during work hours, you instantly owe them $10. Believe me, that immediate pain stops the behavior dead in its tracks. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one final provocative thought to chew on. Success is never a once-in-a-lifetime transformation. It is the direct product of your daily habits. Take a hard look at your routines right now. Are your tiny, automatic behaviors compounding for you or against you? Who is your current system going to make you 1 year from today? Think about it. Thanks for joining me today, and get out there and start building those atomic habits.